Okay, I'm going to try to explain how to do this worksheet. How you doing, people? I hope everyone's not dead. It'll be good. Anyways, speaking of people who want people dead, Adolf Hitler. What about Friedrich Nietzsche and how he, there's Friedrich Nietzsche, the beautiful mustache and the beautiful slick back hair. Oh my goodness, so pretty. Basically what he believed in. So if you go to the end of this worksheet here, which you'll find on the Google Classroom, above this, you'll see these questions here. In a few sentences or more, write how Hitler would interpret Nietzsche, how Hitler would interpret Nietzsche, or applied his advice? Or applied his advice regarding, and then it has 4 different concepts and a 5th question. For the 4 concepts, basically it's just asking, what does Nietzsche think is true about human nature regarding the will to power, then morality, then the nature of man, are we good or evil, and his view of Christianity and Jewish religions, and to a lesser extent Islam as well, which he threw in there. He even wrote a little bit about Zoroastrian, but we're just going to focus on the Christian-Jewish thing as it pertains to Germany. Either way, going back up here, so here you find, the first one was Nietzsche's, what does he think about the will to power? And you see in red, very plainly put, Nietzsche's will to power. These are all quotes about what he thought about nature to the will to power and what he thought about human beings in regard to that. It's a little bit of a weird one, but you don't need every single one of these quotes. You just need to get the basic idea. Like I'll read the first one. My idea is that every specific body strives to become master over all space and people. Oh shoot, I shouldn't. Do whatever you will, but first be such as you are able to will. That's a weird one. Assess the power of will by how much resistance, pain... I totally messed it up. I assess the power of will by how much resistance, pain, torture it endures and knows how to turn to its advantage. So what is he saying here about all that stuff? These things are kind of weird. You don't need to understand every single one of them. One should be proud when it is no longer possible to live proudly. What the frig does that mean? Oh, one should die proudly. That's why it doesn't make sense. One should die proudly when it is no longer possible to live proudly. What is he saying about the will to power? Hitler talks about the will to power all the time in his book Mein Kampf. It's one of the most basic themes. He also thinks that the will to power is what they lacked in World War I when they gave up. All they need to do was keep working. All they need to do, the September traitors, all they need to do was keep fighting and Germany win World War I. Hitler firmly believed that is part of his stab in the back theory. As part of the stab in the back theory that he believed in anyways, not really his theory. Nietzsche on morality in general. I am a moralist. I am not a moralist, but an immoralist. Morality means whether something's right or wrong, what you believe is good and bad to do. I'm not a moralist. I'm an immoralist. Become what you are. Fear is the mother of morality. A little bit of interpretation here. Fear is the mother of morality. He's saying that fear somehow creates morality, what people consider right or wrong. Keep in mind, he's going to go against what most people consider to be factually correct at the time, otherwise wouldn't bother with him. Plato was a bore. Plato wrote about Socrates. Socrates said you should always do what is right. Sometimes referred to as an early Christian. You should never, ever, ever lie. You should never steal. You never cheat under any circumstances. Even if the person lies to you, don't start lying. But anyways, so you go through these things. Then there's the nature of man. And finally, Nietzsche on Christian and Jewish morality. So for each one of these, do one of these things. Then, or write what he thinks. Also, what Hitler interprets. How would Hitler change this? What does Hitler think the will to power is? I sort of did that one above for will to power. What does Hitler think morality means? What does he mean by what's right and what's wrong? Hitler claimed to care deeply about what is right and what's wrong. And without that a lot of the Nazis wouldn't go along with it. They thought that he was in the right, or at least they pretended to believe he was in the right, or claim it. Either way, at the end, do you agree or disagree with Nietzsche on the above 4 topics? Not Hitler. Absolutely should disagree with Hitler. But Nietzsche doesn't agree with Hitler. Hitler doesn't agree with Nietzsche. Hitler believes in what Nietzsche believes in. But Nietzsche famously said, for example, that no race was superior to another. And he actually said if any race was superior to another, it would be the Jewish people, because so many of them had been killed off that they had lived through the survival of the fittest for the longest. In other words, the dumber, lazier Jewish people had been murdered during the Black Death and in witch burnings, or had died of starvation as they were forced into exile or ghettos. And so what was left was the strongest, best people. He didn't believe that they were actually superior. He just believed that the reason why they seemed to be doing well in society was based on the fact that those who were weak had been taken out of the gene pool and killed off. And he thought that was incredibly important. Either way, that's how you do this. All right, bye.